Toronto has its fourth shooting death in the last week.
Newfoundland Premier Danny Williams steps down, and the Raptors continue their hot streak. Humber News starts right now.
Hello, it's November 25th, 2010. Welcome to Humber News, coming to you from the Broadcast Center at North Campus. I'm Kyle Hall. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Kristina Russo. Ahead on our show, we'll have all your news, sports, and entertainment highlights, as well as your 5-day weather forecast. But first, Kyle has our top story.
Police are looking for suspects after a Scarborough man was killed in a drive-by shooting last night. Police say gunshots were heard around 7 p.m. outside an apartment building near Markham Road and Lawrence Avenue East. 45-year-old Carl Cole was rushed to Sunnybrook Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. It's Toronto's fourth gun-related homicide in a week and 56th murder this year. Police are now on the lookout for a silver Dodge Charger and 2 or 3 occupants they believe are involved in the shooting.
Police from all over Ontario are on campus today to launch the holiday ride program. The campaign raises awareness about impaired driving. Reporter Natashia Fearon has the details.
At the time of the year when people are most likely to drink and drive, police are telling Torontonians any alcohol they consume will impair their driving. Today's holiday ride kickoff gave Humber students a chance to experience firsthand just how impaired their vision can get after only a few drinks. Some students say walking the line isn't so easy.
The floor looked like it was kind of moving, and it made me feel like I was really off balance, so it was surprising.
You could see the line, and your feet would line up, but it would all just be kind of like through a wonky magnifying glass.
The RIDE program started in 1977 in Etobicoke. Since then, RIDE coordinator Wendy Johnson says it's become a main service in our communities.
I've stood out on a lot of ride spot checks myself and talked with a lot of sober drivers, and they're very, very happy that we're out there.
Last year, Toronto police stopped over 90,000 vehicles. Over 1,000 of those drivers were tested. 99 drinking and driving charges were laid, and over 100 vehicles were impounded. New this year, anyone under the age of 22 must have a 0 blood alcohol level when driving, regardless of their license class.
Police say it's important to plan ahead if drinking out this holiday season, urging everyone to call a cab, take the TTC, or even phone a friend before getting in the driver's seat. The RIDE program is scheduled to end New Year's Day. Natashia Fearon, Humber News.
Ontario's Gaming Corporation has come up with new technology to help avoid lottery fraud. Data Analysis and Retrieval Technology, or DART, is a program that creates a profile of the buyer of each ticket. This will help narrow the search for the original buyer when there is a disputed lottery jackpot. The program analyzes 1.2 billion transactions each year. The OLG says the new technology will cut months of manual search time down to several minutes.
A Toronto Humane Society board member is taking a leave of absence after over 50 sickly cats were seized from a home she owns in Hamilton. Fern Sinkins didn't live in the house, but had arranged for the occupant to stay rent-free on the condition he looked after the cats. City law only allows 2 animals per dwelling. Sinkins requested the OSPCA remove the cats earlier this week. She made the announcement about her leave just before the board of directors were to hold an emergency meeting to discuss her future.
The internet might be saving trees by reducing paper use, but a new study says Wi-Fi is actually killing them. A Dutch university compared sick trees to a group of healthy ash trees that were exposed to radiation emitted in Wi-Fi signals. The exposed trees show signs of radiation sickness and leaf death. The study suggests wireless internet only affects trees in high-traffic areas like cities.
What's the first thing you do in the morning and the last thing you do at night? If you're like most Torontonians, you might be logging into Facebook. That's according to a new survey conducted by R.I.D.E. News reporter Simon Rice went out to see if Humber students fit the trend and what that might mean.
I wouldn't say it's the very first and very last thing I do, but definitely one of.
Whenever I'm free.
Whenever I have a chance.
Mornings, nights, and before bed.
You may have guessed, these Humber students aren't talking about their toothbrushing habits. Facebook has been around for a little over 6 years, and yet for many of us, it has become an integral part of our daily routine. For some, it may even be an addiction.
I find it's kind of taking over my life in a really bad way. I don't study anymore. I don't hang out with friends.
Liberal arts professor Ian Baird says Facebook is changing us, but it's too early to tell how.
And in a sense, logging on to Facebook in the morning is not that much different than saying hello to your neighbor or checking your mail.
Baird also questions how Facebook affects our relationships.
On the one hand, it's redefining what a friend is. You don't actually have to meet a person for them to be your friend.
The Angus Reid survey is only one of several surveys to be released recently. One calls Facebook users more social, another says Facebook users are narcissists. So the debate rages on, and with an estimated 500 million users worldwide, it's not likely to end anytime soon. Simon Rice, Humber News.
When we come back, we'll have more news from around the country. Heather Alford will give us a sports update, and we'll tell you what's coming up in local weather.
With a chance of flurries and the forecast is starting to feel a lot more like late November. I'll have more with your 5-day forecast after the break.